I suck at Minecraft. I am constantly making mistakes that result in the deaths of myself or even my teammates. But I've got heart, man. For instance, on my last server that I played, I went from a loser nobody who made videos to the leader of the second biggest team in the entire server for like a year. But ever since I quit last October, I just felt like I had to find something new to play, you know, something new to conquer, something new to make videos about. And then I found SVanilla. If you have never heard of this server, I don't blame you. It's really tiny. It's this semi-anarchy Minecraft server geared towards classic styles of combat. I saw it as an opportunity to show off my skills and surpass everybody through sheer strategic ability. And little did I know, this would be so much harder than I thought. So without further ado, this is how I try to take over an entire Minecraft server in just a week. In the beginning, I was unnecessarily cocky. The second that I got into the overworld, I started saying that my team would be the best and would basically take over everybody. These claims, however, had no substance and were mostly just propaganda, because it was just a couple people and I at the time. My first team members were Expert Prism and Topgoon. They were friends that I made on my last server and said they'd love to join me on this journey. And while Expert Prism did have to leave very shortly after joining to go complete school assignments, Topgoon was locked in beyond measure, but I'll get to that in a moment. It was around this time that I decided that if we really were a team, we would need a team name. We threw around a bunch of bullshit names and eventually landed on the Clitter Sparkles. Initially, I suggested it as a joke, but it made me laugh so hard saying it out loud for the first time that it just stuck and we just continued with it. And then I went straight back to my trash talk and propaganda against other players. This would have lasting consequences. Almost immediately after the team's creation, we did find a mine shaft. We decided to make a base there due to the cave spider spawners and a skeleton spawner that was nearby. When Topgoon initially found that skeleton spawner, he looked in one of the chests and it had the holy grail, the cat music disc. This is single-handedly the biggest discovery we had made and we were celebrating hard. And when I mentioned that Topgoon was locked in earlier, I mean he was locked in. He got full diamonds before I could even get one. After setting our home in the mineshaft, we went to spawn and used the random teleport button or RTP button to find new areas to loot. After mining in a cave for around an hour, Topgoon had over half a stack of diamonds extra and I had full iron armor and 2 stacks extra. Soon after though, we decided that living in the mines was a ridiculous idea due to the fact that we were smack dab in the middle of the RTP radius. This was not good. This could mean that if a new player joins and they decide to do a random teleport, they could literally spawn on our base. We knew what we had to do. Wait. Hold up. You might be watching this and wondering what an RTP is. On some servers, RTP or random teleport buttons are placed at spawn for new players to get a fresh start. It would teleport them some radius around spawn. On SVanilla, it is 7.5 thousand blocks. Now back to the video. With a heavy heart, we decided we would pack up our things and move on and try and find a new location for our base, hopefully outside of the RTP radius. I had a full inventory, so I went back to spawn and started RTPing. Topgoon stayed back and packed up everything else that was left in bundles. However, as he was taking a minecart over to one of the spawners, he was falsely banned for speed hacks. I was freaking out. Not only did he have the cat music disc, but he had all of the diamonds we had. This was our first massive blow, and it dragged us all the way back to the start of our progress. I was now alone in this mysterious world, awaiting Expert's return and Topgoon's ban appeal. After such a devastating loss, I was already questioning whether or not this challenge would be possible. As a last-ditch effort, I sent a message in general of Stonebox, the last server that I played, and the one where many people know me from. This got the attention of many people, most notably Witless Venus, Potato Man, Aeon, Buzzbee, and U1060. When they joined, it was truly joyous. It seemed that even though we had a huge resource deficit, we could conquer anything with the power of friendship. Until Witless Venus needed a TP. I told him to send a request, which he did, but not before another player TP sniped us. For those of you who don't know what TP sniping is, it's a technique used by raiders to get cords from players. As you can probably tell, this works best on new players and players who don't have a lot of experience with TPA plugins. This proved to be a very effective strategy, as a veteran player named Misery saw the opportunity and took it, and soon after, the destruction had begun. Oh shit! Hey, you are so lucky that your TPA request timed out. Some guy TPA'd here. Because I thought it was your name. It's safe to say that, I got bitched. He was in full netherite armor, and we had logs and sticks. How could someone do something like this? This was unforgivable. And then I forgave him. We moved on and continued RTPing, hoping that we could get close enough to the border that we could escape it. Before one of my RTP attempts, I noticed that at spawn, there was a bunch of leaderboards for different things. Fishing, deaths, votes. It was all very cool, but there was one that scared me way more than the other ones. There was a kills leaderboard. And right at the top of the list, there was a player with thousands of kills, affectionately named Kill Team. I had heard of him before because of his YouTube channel, and I saw one of his base raid videos. And he makes pretty good content, so you guys should go check him out after this. But yeah, surely this guy will not cause a problem for us. That would be ridiculous, right? Besides that, there really wasn't much that happened in the next hour. We found a completely burnt down woodland mansion, and Witless Venus decided he wanted to lead a wither right into Isaac's face. But other than that, we were pretty much bored. After a while of searching for a new base location and finally escaping the RTP zone, we moved to a base that was around 10,000 out. It was on a snowy mountain with spruce trees everywhere and right next to this giant cave. And someone, I still do not know who, decided to give Potato Man a full kit with multiple totems when he went to spawn. While loathing my friend's new gear, I decided to make a base in the wall between the cave and the snowy mountain. And that base was trash. I was having trouble getting full iron armor because every time that I went down into the cave, I kept dying. It was a painful hour of building, to say the least. At the end of the day, the base looked unshockingly trash. Like, it is bad. Just look at this, bro. We knew that this base was going to be temporary, so we didn't really put a whole lot of effort into it. It was nothing interesting of note other than my horrible block palette choice. This was, however, the first group effort build, I guess. You know, the people that helped me build this were Potato Man, Buzzbee, and Aeon. After finally realizing that my base looked horrible, I just ended my recording and went to bed. Upon the next morning's rise, I decided to mine some ores and try to get something before we moved. I only got coal. I said I was going to get diamonds and iron, and I only got coal. And very little bits of it too. What you are seeing right now is the only ores I mined for the next around hour of playing. And when I said that I was bad at Minecraft, I mean it. I built a sugarcane farm in an ice river. Somebody could please go to these cords and just blow up this entire base. That would be great. You know, future editing DM Smiley, I hate this base. I hate this base so much. Like, I'm recording this days after the first chapter was recorded, and I just still really don't like this base. Basically, 10 minutes after I built that terrible sugarcane farm, I immediately abandoned it when Potato Man hopped on. When he joined VC, we decided to just start the trek and look for a new base location immediately. We came across a shocking number of shipwrecks and ocean monuments. I did not know that they were this common. Like, I was genuinely shocked when I was seeing how many structures there were in the ocean. While we were boating, we did find this mysterious base that was like mostly made out of crafting tables. I have no idea what this is. This is some shit that I would find on Stonebox while running through a tunnel. It was kind of beautiful though. I do feel bad for taking things from it. Potato Man, being the genius that he is, suggested that we find a lava pool and travel through the Nether. This is because 1 block in the Nether is equivalent to 8 blocks in the overworld. So we'd effectively be traveling 8 times faster. While trying to find a lava pool, we found a destroyed map art. I had no idea there was a map art community on this server. I just want to take a minute to like appreciate some of the stuff that people have made. I'm flashing some on screen of like some of my favorite ones that I've ever seen on the server. And these are just incredible. I mean, like, what the heck? Specifically though, I want to point out Interstellar by Axiode. This is nuts, dude. 9x9 map art. That is unreal. The coolest thing is that there's so many more map arts that I'm not able to cover due to like time restraints, but I would love to make a video that's just diving into the SVanilla map art community because it's really interesting how they get to make those kind of things. Eventually, we made it to a Sahara where we would later find the lava pool we were looking for. And after Potato Man almost failed twice at making the Nether portal with the speedrunning strategy, we eventually entered the Nether. This ended up being the best thing we could have done because right next to the Nether portal, there was a Nether fortress.
Oh my god!
We entered the fortress and got to work. We had our sights set on 2 things, blaze rods and wither skulls. Blaze rods specifically would help us with potions and ender eyes and therefore ender chests. And if we were to keep getting into situations like with misery, we would need potions. And wither skulls can give us beacons, which would help base creation immensely. And while we discovered that you can find withers relatively easily out in the wild in the RTP zone, it really isn't reliable, so we wanted to get a bunch of wither skulls as a backup. And since we saw quite a bit of player activity around here, we didn't want to stay for too long, so we split up, and I would get blaze rods, he would get wither skulls. This task proved to be way harder than we thought, because we did not have looting 3, but none of that would even matter if we couldn't find a blaze spawner. But luckily, after about 10 minutes of searching, I found one in the entire nether fortress that was not destroyed. And after killing around 8 of them, I realized that spawners, they don't spawn enemies with AI. This was huge because that means they can't move, they can't look around, and most importantly, they can't attack. This doesn't mean that we were safe from threats though. Naturally spawning ghasts, wither skeletons, piglins, and for some reason blazes all had normal enemy AI because they didn't come from a spawner. Luckily, I could predict where most of the ghasts and blazes would spawn because I was noticing them all come from around the north end of the fortress. So what did I do in response? I built a wooden wall. A wooden wall to protect against the fire-breathing monsters. A wooden wall. If you couldn't tell already, that is a stupid decision. I don't know why I did it, and the entire time I was farming, I did not stop having to replace blocks in the wall. But after around 30 minutes of grinding, I did end up getting 45 blaze rods. Unfortunately, without looting 3, Potato Man was not able to get a single wither skull. But that's fine, we wouldn't need beacons. We weren't gonna make a base underground. That would be ridiculous. So after getting sidetracked for half an hour, we decided to do what we actually came here to do and travel. We ran very far and eventually landed near a desert village. At this point, we were around 35,000 out, and it was shocking to see that there was a completely untouched village here. This is when my curiosity about this server really started to shine. Why were there completely unlooted mine shafts and easily snatchable diamonds within 1,000 blocks? And more importantly, why are there villages like 35k out that are not touched? This is an old server. It's been up since 2019. How is this possible? I found that out immediately. It went through a reset in 2023. Anyway, we stole the villagers and put them into a sandstone box. This would keep them safe while Potato Man tried to dig down into a bunker. This took a really long time for some reason, and eventually we did it. The reason why we chose to make an underground base is because I had a gut feeling that people base hunted on here. Now, I might be a stupid little bedrock player, but I do know that if someone is using pie chart, it's very easy to hide a base underneath a village. This is because a lot of blocks that are commonly found in villages are also found in many bases. So to the Java players, they're just gonna think it's a normal village when flying over. This would be instrumental to our success if we wanted to conquer the whole server. So I patched all the holes up that made it look weird, and then I brought the villagers down into the Stonebox, I guess you could say. And then immediately Potato Man had to hop off. But I was soon joined by a new member, Yoshihisa. He's also an old Stonebox player, so I was happy that we had some kind of familiar ground. I kept digging our bunker and turned it from the Stonebox to the long box. In the left back, Yoshihisa and I decided to make a giant room for farming. And it actually was pretty well structured. I mean, we had everything in rows and groups and whatnot. You know, I was feeling pretty cool. It is also worth noting that Yoshihisa had more diamonds than me, and he had been playing for around an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and I had over 10 at this point. Further editing BM Smiley, I found out that the exact number of hours I had on SVanilla at this time was 16.3 hours. This single recording alone makes up for 10 of them. In total, I have roughly 50 hours of footage that I need to sift through for this video. Okay, back to current editing Smiley. That farm had sugarcane, wheat, pumpkins, melons, and most importantly, potatoes. And we didn't have necessarily a large space cut out for the potatoes, but boy did they grow quickly. By the end of the night, we had 4 double chests of baked potatoes. And just as a side note, I have like an unnecessary amount of love in my heart for this farm. I don't know, something about it just has so much charm. Eventually, Yoshihisa had to leave and I was stuck alone again. And it was like I was in a trance. Like I just did nothing but farm and dig for the next 8 hours. At this time, the team had 15 members in total. There's a couple that just haven't been mentioned because they really just didn't do shit, or they only hopped on like once and never hopped on again. And finally, on the second day, I ended up logging off feeling rather happy about where our base was standing. And I mean, I kind of had to be. Like, combined with all the recordings from this day, it was around like 13 hours. It was fucking ridiculous. Like, I don't even think you guys are comprehending how long 13, 14 hours is, bro. Like, I was being a chud that day. And I was just recording like by myself. Like, I was barely in VCs, and when I was in VCs, I was building and doing stuff. I was not live a single time today. I stayed up all night playing this, and then I was too tired and passed out. After waking up the next morning, I realized that I had dozens of DMs from people asking if they could join the Clitter Sparkles. Very few people from the SVanilla server itself, mostly people from Stonebox. And I mean dozens, like I think I had close to like 24 DMs asking, hey, yo, can I join the team? And I said yes to basically every single one of them. And I mean, this surge of members made us go from 15 to almost 40 members. And to celebrate this huge milestone, I decided to go live for the first time on the server. While people were already making jokes about the Clitter Sparkles, this stream was our big break. Many recognizable people joined this stream. Some of the people that joined this stream were people such as Rianitly, Thrifty Man, Flomish, and Kill Team. I was very shocked to see that Kill Team joined and honestly kind of scared. If you remember correctly, this is the dude who has the most kills on the server. I contemplated for a little bit about whether or not it was a good idea to be live streaming because that could actually put us at risk. Would this inspire some content creator on content creator crime? To my surprise, these people were actually very nice. People such as Rianitly and Kill Team offered alliances. However, because I'm trying to take over the entire server, I decided to stay neutral instead of becoming best friends with everybody. Some of them even asked to join the team, but I politely declined because at this point the base was getting pretty full. I also found out that the team members that weren't super active just lived in a different time zone and had actually been building Clitter Sparkles outposts along the map. This was actually really cool and they all are standing today, but I'm not going to show any footage because I don't have any. Some people who joined around this time were Percocet Stanky Leg, Lemon Relic, Orange Reaper, Indian Jesus, Red Wrecker, Bakos, Pixel Falls, Mossy, Green Bean, Pixel, Stand on Business, and like 14 other people. Most of these guys, minus like a select few, were just people that I met from Stonebox. This is also when the team was really solidified as the first like Stoneboxian team on the server. Like, we were basically only Stoneboxers. For the first hour, other than people like Kill Team joining, there really wasn't much that happened. Unshockingly, I did a lot of farming and also a lot of digging. But around an hour and a half in, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, joined the game. If you know my Stonebox lore, you should know who Nas is. He's the man who built some of the greatest things in Stonebox history, such as the Syndicate Cathedral and the Syndicate Town Hall. He is just so good. He's like the Amish. He was building these huge structures in like a day. He was so good at building these giant structures in such a little time that he got recognition from Stonebox staff like every other week. And matter of fact, the entrance to the Syndicate Town Hall is in the Stonebox hub right now. I lost contact with him after the Stonebox 2 reset, and eventually we drifted apart. I assumed that he quit Discord and I just kind of moved on. And I didn't even think that he was subscribed to me on YouTube. But lo and behold, here he was in the game. Shockingly enough, this was truly one of the coolest moments in the entire series. I mean, look at my reaction when it happens.
Oh my god, there's no way. Dude, look who joined. Holy shit. In the flesh, bro. No! Dude, no way. This man right here is the sole constructor of the Syndicate Cathedral. He built it in like 3 days. 2 days, 3 days. Start to finish. And that includes the time that it was needed to get the materials. Like, this guy's the GOAT. And he's gone again. No way! Oh my god. This is fire, bro.
So I think it's safe to say I was very pleased to have him back on the team. So after having the greatest builder of Stonebox history come back, I had to kind of show off. Even though you've already been seeing me remodel things and expand the rooms and stuff, I just wanted to do more. I continued digging big tunnels to just make more areas for potential rooms, fixed up the main hallway a little bit. You guys already saw some of that. And spent like 2 hours AFK talking to my chat. It was kind of embarrassing. I was so bored. I did a bunch of random stuff, like nothing really important. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, I don't know if you guys already noticed, but I did end up getting a full kit of diamond armor. After reviewing the footage, I have no idea how I got this. Like, I don't know, but I hooked up Nas with some shoes and shit, and then we got to work. And then we uncovered a desert fossil, like, immediately. It was crazy. For the longest time, I thought it was like one big Mandela effect. Like I've never seen one in game. But lo and behold, there it was sitting right there. I was not crazy. We joked around about like, you know, harvesting it, and eventually we decided not to. We wanted to leave it exactly how it was because the diamonds made it look really cool and it made us look important. And it was really, really difficult trying to coordinate 35 greedy people not to break the like 20 plus diamonds in that fossil, but we actually did it. I actually found the fossil initially because I was trying to build a wheat farm for Orange Reaper, who had been building the cow area you saw earlier. Why would he be needing leather, you may be asking? Well, guess what? He built a villager breeder. Him and Jaquivis ended up collaborating on that, but it was mostly Reaper. But even though we didn't have all the expanded wheat production we wanted, we had enough. I don't know why he wanted more. Also, I took a nap, and then I woke up and it was the next day, but I'm not gonna really count that, so I'm just gonna cut to the next day. There's gonna be no like dum transition. It's technically the same like session. I just took like a fucking 30-minute nap before, so I don't want to hear nobody talk shit about no fucking technically it's 8 days, technically. I don't care. This next session was only like an hour anyway, so it like basically nothing happened pretty much. Wait, no, I asked you not to do this. Jesus Christ. Well, after I woke up from my hour-long nap, I just got back to work. This recording session is also a VOD, but I had way less popularity this time, which is perfectly okay. I was really just doing anything. I mean, I went and I was searching, you know, I found an amethyst geode and a mine shaft, and I don't even know. There was this very minor beef that I wish that I had footage of, where a new member, Sploofy, who's from Stonebox, had beef with another Stonebox member named Blueberries, aka Soft Shiloh. I'll try and find the death message, but I'm pretty sure he either just killed her or carded her, I don't remember. It was pretty fucking hilarious. We also did a raid, but my footage was still corrupted from this time, so I don't have my POV, but I have someone else's. Thank you, Expert Prism, for giving me this footage. The raid went horribly, and we all died many times, and we did not win the raid. What ended up happening was the classic Vindicator goes 18 million blocks underground, not in the village. We probably spent over 20 minutes looking for that guy. Eventually he despawned and we just moved on with our life. Additionally, a player named Origami Dragon asked me to sign a book for them in exchange for a diamond block. I needed diamonds bad, so I just did it. I just went to the trade zone and I signed my name. This is a weird contract. Read this, bro. Something about legally transferring the ownership of my soul. I don't know, bro. Binding in all realms, ritual sacrifice, infernal bargaining, yada yada yada. Binding to a Minecraft roleplay arc of indeterminate length. What does that mean? There was also this guy named Gerwalk that joined. I like him. He joined because of Blueberries. He's also from Stonebox. If you aren't already seeing the trend, you should be. I also spent a really long time trying to build a lava farm, and I had no idea how to do that, so it was a big struggle. At the end of the day, Orange Reaper and Jaquivis finished the breeder in the trading hall. For some reason, they named them all Testificate, and I have no idea what the hell that means. And finally, a new player joined in the last 10 to 15 minutes of my stream. Their name is Okultra, or OK Ultra, and they proved to be very beneficial. They joined because they saw one of my super old Stonebox videos, and it made me pretty happy. They would prove to be very beneficial to the team. Forgot to mention that Orange Reaper got Fortune 3 from one of the villagers, and then we proceeded to mine every diamond that we had saved, including the ones in the fossil, unfortunately. Yup, it took 3 hours for that fossil to succumb to our greed. There was also this really awesome dude that's definitely an alt named The Commune TC, and he did give us a shulker box of enchanted books. But yeah, after making arguably the most amount of progress so far in the series, I logged off.
Hey, Cartman.
Kyle! It's all gone! They've taken it all! Why are they doing this? Kyle! Kyle!
I wish that this was a good day in this chapter. I'm telling you right now, it was not. Before we get into the meat of this chapter, you need to know who someone is. And this someone is named Thunderboy. And I wish I was lying when I say that originally in the script, this chapter was originally named, Oh My God, We All Hate Thunderboy. Let's just say he's a pretty controversial figure in the lore of the Clitter Sparkles. Now, I had no idea who Thunderboy was. I don't know when he got here, and honestly, I don't care. All I know is that he's probably a little kid and joined because of U1060. U1060 is a great dude, and you know, this isn't like targeted at him in any way. He's a great dude, but Nah, this Thunderboy guy is a problem. Okay, I'm gonna cut in right now. I just did a little bit more research. I'm like almost done with the video at the time of saying this, but oh my god. Turns out they're probably not related at all. And I found this screenshot where U1060 is just like, hey Thunderboy, you wanna join the Glitter Sparkles? What? What? I had no idea about this. Also, Thunderboy was a part of another team before this. Like, he's not like a new player. Whatever. I digress. Back to the video. At this point, the Clear Sparkles were regularly joining up in these big VCs, you know, up to like 20, 25 people, just doing team meetings and dictating things and, you know, just planning pretty much. One of the things that we talked about very, very regularly was do not accept a TP. Never accept a TP. And you would think that would be obvious, but we had to just make that clear to everybody, especially since there was so many new people joining. After the Misery incident, we couldn't do it. But there was a problem. Thunderboy, who's either a little kid or an alt account, kept saying he didn't have Discord and could not join the VC, so he couldn't attend the team meetings. This means there was a discrepancy between what Thunderboy knew and what we knew. And we were already kind of considering kicking him out because we had no idea who he was and he was kind of being a big risk. But we let him stay because we just thought that it was U1060's brother. But this morning, our opinions on Thunderboy changed very, very heavily. The day before, I did a bunch of trading. You guys saw some of that. You know, I traded away my soul for a diamond block, yada, yada, yada. There's a command to go to the trade zone. It's called /warp trade. And apparently Thunderboy, he just didn't know about that. And an alt account who eventually, I guess, figured out through his speech patterns or whatever that Thunderboy was probably a little kid and abused that. He sent a TP request to Thunderboy asking to trade. But since he wasn't in the meetings, he couldn't hear about the no TP rule and he didn't know about /warp trade. So now there was an alt account named Ice Cream Man. Fucking Ice Cream Man. That's the most obvious alt name I've ever heard in my life. And we tried killing him like immediately after he got here, but he had already set his spawn, so it didn't even matter. And yeah, he proved to be a little bit of a problem. He tried killing me with an axe, and he actually almost did like twice. He was doing a bunch of random stuff, and then it happened. A moment that I like to call the Mart Goon Chronicles.
But anyways, right? This dude teleported this Ice Cream Man guy, okay, because he wanted to trade. Even though there's literally a command that is /warp trade, he decided to teleport him. So now, Thunderboy is off the team. I don't know how Thunderboy got here. I don't know who he is in game. I think he might be off the team. I'm gonna be real. Who is Mart Goon? Dude, there's a player that's in here, and his name is Mart Goon too. How did he get in here? Oh my god, bruh. Yo, Mart Goon. Mart Goon. Okay, yeah, we're gonna need to move out because I think Thunderboy probably accepted this TP. All because of this stupid... All this because of this stupid guy. Fucking Thunderboy, bro.
15 minutes later.
Oh man, base is destroyed. Oh, you're here. Yeah, base is destroyed. So that Thunderboy guy, I don't know who Thunderboy is from. I think he got invited by Isaac. I think he's a little kid. He accepted a TP from this guy Ice Cream Man, and that. It was bad.
Let's back up a little bit. What the fuck just happened? From my understanding, I invited U1060. U1060 invited Thunderboy. Thunderboy invited Ice Cream Man. Ice Cream Man invited Mart Goon 2. Mart Goon 2 invited Flomish, and Flomish destroyed everything. And you know, I can't even blame Mart Goon 2. I love Mart Goon 2. He's so nice, bro. Like, look at him. Look at him. And I don't even care that much that he killed our cured mending villager and started posing as him. I don't even care that much. I love Margoon too. He was like my favorite diversity hire for the Glitter Sparkles. I really love that guy. He was the first non-Stoneboxer on the fucking team. But yeah, even though he did betray us, you know, I can't stay mad at him. But now let's jump back a bit and fill you guys in on what happened in the 15 minutes before Flomish killed all of us. After I realized that I was getting rage baited and my entire base was getting filled with alt accounts, I grabbed all of the valuables that we had. I mean, admittedly not a lot, but I grabbed it all and I hid it away in my ender chest, and then I told my chat, okay, everyone send me a TP request. I'll accept any TP request in the next 5 minutes. Because, I mean, we had nothing to lose, and it would be a funny clip. You know, I'm a clip farmer at heart. I was getting so many teleport requests. It was ridiculous. Very many people joined, and very many people died. I got murdered, and I came back down to see destruction. Just only destruction. And also, Flomish teleported another guy named Crazy Fucking Rooster, so I don't add that one to the fucking BM Smiley lore map. And here's another thing for you guys to add to your lore maps. There is an alt account out there named BM Frowny on YT. What? BM Frowny, bro. I was so stunned when I first saw this dude that I didn't even attack him. He was like attacking me like crazy, and I didn't even get to attack him back. Like, bro, I was so lucky. I got saved by Santo. That KFodder43 dude that runs the official Stonebox account was harassing me on my YouTube chat again, so I had to ban him. Also, I guess Flomish might have felt bad for me in my base, so he gave me like a full kit of netherite. After the destruction, a super kind solo player named Luxond joined my VC and invited the entire team to live far away from the terror that had befallen our base. Not only this, but he also gifted me an elytra. This was huge. I had no idea that you could even get elytras on the server, but I was super happy. But then I got really confused. I had heard that the end is only 100,000 blocks out. Much less than the original overworld border. If an end city spawns every 750 blocks, that means on average there should be only around 133 end cities. And my math very well could be very wrong, but if it's not, that would mean that with a 1 in 8 chance of an end ship spawning at an end city, there's only 16 elytras on the entire server. This would explain very easily how I had never even heard of someone having one at this point. And since he had one too, that means that if my math was correct, he was in possession of 1/8 of the world's entire elytra supply. I thought his generosity was over. He gave me some rockets, and I took off on my own to try and find a new base, hopefully under a village. To my surprise, Luxon DM'd me saying, hey, I got a new base location. I trusted him very heavily at this point because he just gifted me such a valuable item. I accepted the TP, and it was actually at a very good spot. And just like that, a new friendship had begun. The new base location spot was a plains village. My team and I felt super safe basing here. Not only because of the fact that we were almost 4 times further out than we were originally, but because we didn't have as many people here who could potentially be a TP risk. There was also this sick ass spot near the village where it looked like that hand that's coming out of the ocean in that one Marvel movie, like the celestial shit. Bro, it was kind of sick, and I really wanted to make a base there. Blueberries started flattening a hill near the center of the village, and I kept getting trade requests, teleport requests, all this kind of stuff. So many people gave me shulker boxes of materials, and with the craziest one being one that had like netherite, had some wither skulls, you know, it was crazy. It was right here when I realized that since I was live streaming and everyone had their eyes on me, my team, the Clitter Sparkles, was the biggest target on the server at the moment. I was almost peaking in terms of live stream viewers. I had almost 20 viewers watching me build this new base, and let's just say none of them were teammates. Also, Kill Team used an alt account on Discord to try and get cords to my base. After the betrayal that just happened, I was not so quick to assume that everyone was my friend, and I did some research, and turns out that yeah, it actually was Kill Team. My assumption was that since I had an elytra, he wanted it. I didn't let that slide. I told Kill Team right away that I knew it was him and then just moved on. Not even 15 minutes after we made it to that location, I was getting DMs like crazy saying that, oh, I know where your base is, I know where your base is. And I just had PTSD from the Mark Goon 2 incident, so I was very scared, rightfully so. The person who did this the most was this one dude named Rakeman. I don't know much about him, but he is pretty funny. But yeah, I have never played on a server where someone tries to find my base based on the clouds I look up at in this fucking sky. That's ridiculous. I felt super bad because people were already starting to set up shop, but I did what I had to do, and eventually Luxon found a new place to live. But after panicking waiting for Luxon to find a new place to live, a player named Necrophil offered a spot at his base for our team. And it was a pretty sweet crib, I'm not gonna lie. But I said nah, just because that's a huge target on his back as well if I start going over there, and I didn't trust people at the moment after Margoon 2, Ice Cream Man, Flomish, fucking everybody. But I also didn't trust him because his name was Necrophil. Like what? When Luxon finally found that new area though, I decided I would actually turn my clouds off this time. It was actually really nice and peaceful for a while, and we started building a base we could finally live at. We spent the next 45 minutes doing random shit. Orange Reaper built Villager Breeder again. U1060 built this modern style house, and Blueberries decided to kill this person named Mossy who was allegedly flirting with her boyfriend. I felt a little bad because she ended up leaving after that, like completely. But hey man, if you're actually doing that, that's fucked up. Oh yeah, and I went over to this ice spikes biome, and I had a vision. I had a vision for this base where it was a shipwreck coming out of the ice spikes biome, and it was like crashed into the side of the mountain somehow, and I don't know, I had a vision. When I went back to the village to get supplies, Top Goon told me he found a cave where he thought a mob spawner was. I followed him to the mob spawner he found. We turned it into an XP farm. It wasn't very good because it was coming from a spawner, and you know, the zombies would always spawn on top of the spawner or behind it or something and not flow into the water. After I left that, I never went back. For the rest of the fucking video, I never went back. After getting barely enough XP to repair my elytra and other tools, I went back to the ice spikes where I was building my shipwreck base. I wanted glass walls, and I wanted a wooden log frame, and I still thought that this was a really cool base idea, but I had no idea how I would pull it off. I went back to the village to get sand to smelt glass for the windows. Since I had so many people watching me at the time, a lot of those people wanted to raid me. Mostly because we were undergeared and I was like the only person in Netherite other than Luxond, and I had an elytra. One of these players, who I assume is Kill Team or Rienetly, was the person who owned the BM Frowny on YT account. After 45 minutes of trying to recuperate from our last attack, I asked Lux for a TP because I was kind of far away and needed to get back to my sand. Presumably, Kill Team heard this and logged on the BM Frowny account and sent Lux a TP before I could. As you've probably noticed throughout this video, I am on controller. It is so hard for me to type out commands fast that he was able to get that command in before I was even able to finish typing it. So Lux, thinking it was me, accepted the teleport request. We had officially been TP sniped once again. We were panicking because we had all our valuables everywhere and shulker boxes scattered around the entire base and the villager breeders still being worked on. I knew that they had learned their lesson from last time and not do what they did with Markgoon 2 and wait to do the raid. So now we were all running like chickens without our heads, trying to get all the resources in the base before BM Frowny decided to teleport everybody. On a side note, it's really funny every time that I talk about BM Frowny because it's like some Dream SMP fucking alter ego bullshit. You really can't make this shit up, bro. We hadn't even grabbed anything when Kill Team attacked. Not only did the BM Frowny account teleport Kill Team, but he also teleported Rhea. Rhea is another big base finder on this server. I've talked about Rienetly a little bit before, but pretty much they're just a really big name on the server. And also a big ally to Kill Team. The massacre had started once again, and we got bitched for like the 5th time so far. Orange Reaper was murdered, Blueberries was murdered, but most importantly, BM Frowny was murdered! Funnily enough, the people that you would think they would want to injure the most, such as myself or Luxond, being the ones with all of the valuables on them, we didn't die. Luxond immediately flew away. Like, immediately. He knew what was gonna happen. He was already flying to find a new base location. And I was all the way at my shipwreck when the attack happened. And I guess they didn't think that part all the way through. I was kind of being a coward, so I just grabbed the shulkers around me and then did /spawn. This would send me back to the starting area so that I wouldn't be able to be hurt. While waiting for Luxon to find another base location, I decided to look in the SVanilla Discord to see if anyone was talking about the attacks. People were already making jokes and using the Markgoon 2 image as like a reaction image. The phrase, "Who is Markgoon 2?" became like a running joke. But something a little bit more interesting that I found is in the memories channel. Rienetly sent a photo of them flying above our base. Were elytras really that rare? Regardless, I really like this photo and I'm pretty glad they didn't kill me there. I had many valuable shulkers on me and my entire netherite set, so I was very lucky to be alive. I genuinely believe that I am one of, if not the worst PvPer to ever touch SVanilla. Like, I'm ass! Okay? I'm basically a free kit to anybody who wants to fucking drop me, okay? So what did my dumbass decide to do after the most skilled PvPers were at my base? I went back! Why? For a fucking shulker box of spruce logs! What am I doing? And I didn't die here or anything, but oh my god, like, they're ridiculously stupid. But yeah, I mean, I was safe, and now I was back at spawn, but like, that was just a really stupid thing of me to do. We basically saw 4 bases this stream. We made 4 bases, and we had to evacuate 3. That's gotta be an SVanilla world record, right? I mean, this stream's only like 3 hours. You might be like, what do you mean, what do you mean 4? What do you mean 4? You only saw 3. Well, guess what? Luxon was already flying around and he found us a new base location for like the 3rd time today. I felt really, really, really bad. He was probably wasting a lot of rockets. At the end of the day, though, I was actually feeling extremely demotivated. All I wanted was to sit back, relax, you know, stream some Minecraft, talk to my chat, and just like share my story with the people. But then that turned into 3 base evacuations. Like, what the hell, bro? This would like mark the running joke of like the smiley curse, where every time somebody streams on SVanilla, they get raided. I told my chat that I would never be streaming on SVanilla again until my video's out, but you know, I don't know. Will the smiley curse come back? You'll have to see. I thank my viewers for watching, and then I just went to bed. I would love to just take a second and appreciate that last chapter. That was definitely the most plot-dense recording in the entire, like, series of events, I guess. I mean, like, that was 16 minutes long. The first 2 combined were 14. This is also the start of the recording. Like, when I woke up the next morning, I was basically in the server reset zone. This is just when the server goes down for maintenance for a couple minutes, and it's just a lobby. There's this pretty hard parkour course in the lobby, and I've been playing now at the time of writing this for around 3 months, and I've only beat it once. What you are looking at right now is the only footage of BM Smiley beating the parkour. Let's all just take a moment and watch this.
Wait. Oh, I did it, bro. I did it, bro.
This is not plot relevant in any way. Everybody comment this timestamp and say good job BM Smiley. It was a very good start of the day though after the last day, because dude, I just needed a win. When server maintenance ended, I noticed that Blueberries and Orange Reaper had both built things while I was offline. It was hard not to notice because I spawned basically right next to Blueberry's fucking dwelling. Orange Reaper had once again built a villager breeder. I spent some time looking at the landscape because I didn't really get to the night before, since I was so scared that if I kept streaming and building a base here, it would get fucking raided too. I saw this mountain, and I really like this specific part of the wall in the side of the mountain, and I felt like Emmett when he becomes a master builder. I had a vision suddenly for like this bunker with a long spiral staircase, and there's like this glass tunnel in the middle of it, and it's got like fish and water and shit. And you know, if I was any dumber, I would probably use AI to generate a photo of this, but I'm not fucking stupid. So we're gonna have a moment of silence, and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna fucking close your eyes and picture that, okay? Just close your eyes. They better be closed, bro. I did have to get off though, so I ended my recording and I picked it up later.
Dude, because I have a vision. Like, spruce and quartz, and then there's like glass in the middle and like some kelp. Well, we can do a mix. Like, I imagine like quartz pillars, because I have a vision.
Look at my little whimsical ass telling everybody what my fucking plans were. Man, I love building this bunker. But basically, when I got back, there was a lot of progress that got done. Blueberries worked on the roof to her dwelling. Orange Reaper started working on the trading hall, and I just kept digging further and further and further down. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot about OK Ultra this entire time. But this is a very important individual, and you guys need to know about the things that OK Ultra did. They were one of the first people to get teleported to the base, and they were kind of out of the base most of the time, actually. But when they came back, they dramatically slammed down a shulker box and said to look inside. I opened it up and it shocked me. Inside, there were tons of gear. But to my surprise, there were also 2 elytras. And if you look here, Ultra has one too. Now this means that I've got one, Luxon's got one, OK Ultra has one, and now we have 2 extras. I was like 80% sure that those elytras were duped, but I took one anyway because I'm evil. I let everyone else just rip into the shulker box, and they stripped it clean. But now I was even more confused. I was told that they weren't duped, and if they were telling the truth, I needed to find that out for myself. I did a little bit of digging, and I found out that you could use the vote points from the vote system to get elytras as well. This could definitely explain how they were more common than we thought. But after checking myself to see how much they were, I realized they were 96 points. If you vote on all of the servers possible every day for 8 days, you would only barely be able to get it. And obviously, Ultra hasn't been on the server for 8 days. I did my research and it looks like OK Ultra has never killed anybody. So they definitely didn't get it off somebody and definitely didn't trade for it. I know this because OK Ultra never once received the Cover Me in Debris achievement, which you get from putting on a piece of netherite armor. You might be wondering how that proves that they didn't trade for it. Well, this server's main currency for trading is netherite scrap, netherite ingots, and diamond blocks. The only netherite related achievement that OK Ultra ever received was the Hidden in the Depths achievement, which you get from mining a piece of ancient debris. And you still might be saying, oh, that doesn't prove anything. They might have just used all of the ingots for trading and none on themselves. Well, check this out. OK Ultra received an elytra for the first time on February 27th, 2026. OK Ultra first got their hands on netherite on March 2nd. They hadn't even got netherite yet. So that means OK Ultra has had an elytra for 3 days. When did Ultra join? The 27th. But to get further confirmation of my theories, I went into the SVanilla General VC. In this VC, shockingly enough, there was that guy Necrophil. Not only did he reassure me that end cities are way more common on this server, but also that the end gets culled every so often. This basically means that chunks just get reset. So basically, all of that researching was useless, and chances are they just found an end city. So we're probably not being insided. Sorry for the last 3 minutes being like Matt Pat Smiley. It also means that Luxon wasn't as rich as I thought he was, but it doesn't make his gift any less generous. As I was talking to Necrophil about this whole situation, he told me about his base again. Me, being a curious little fellow, decided, you know what? Yeah, fuck it, I'll go. And because this dude's name is Necrophil, I'm still not fully trusting him, so I threw all of my armor and shit, in my ender chest. I fully expected to be TP trapped, but to my surprise, it looked like I actually was in some kind of underground base. He told me to follow him, which I did, all the way up this minecart track to the overworld surface. Since I was recording, out of respect for him and his base, I decided to leave my cords off. He put a lot of trust in me bringing me here, and I didn't want to ruin it. He showed me a pillar building where inside there was a spiral staircase. And it was at this moment when I realized the full scope of this base. I mean, look at this entrance, dude. This is rad. He told me that he lived alone here ever since his teammate quit. He would keep building and, sending him pictures, hoping that he would get him on, but it just never really worked. I sympathized with that, and in return, I opened up and told him why I was here. This included my Stonebox history, and oh boy, there's a lot of it. It was one of those conversations where you just turn the area around you into a parkour course. I went off the rails, dude. I think I genuinely spoke to him for an hour. I made a couple videos on my old team before, the Syndicate, which is my Stonebox team, but I never really covered the history, and I'm really passionate about that stuff. Quick BM Smiley fun fact, there actually was a Syndicate timeline video that was in the works, and it was probably around 15% done when I eventually scrapped it. It was just gonna be too long. It was gonna be 3-4 hours maybe. I edit everything on my phone, and I get all of my footage from a PlayStation, so I can't really edit a 4-hour video. And I had 40, 50 hours, something like that, amount of footage on this video that I had to edit, and this is just 7 days. The Syndicate lasted for around a year. And I played triple the amount, so yeah, that should probably not happen. Maybe one day I'll do a live stream where I just talk about the Syndicate's lore, and then I just post it as a VOD. That would be kind of cool. Maybe I'll do that. Let me know if y'all would want to see that, genuinely. Sorry, I went off track. Back to the video. Since he trusted me enough to show me his main base, and he sat through my long-ass Syndicate lore explanation segment, I decided to reciprocate by putting my trust in him. Since he mentioned he was alone, I decided to offer him a spot in the Clitter Sparkle. He accepted the offer, and I decided to teleport him to my main base. The Clitter Sparkles were now one person stronger. He joined VC for a couple hours, but eventually I had to go once again. Also, Bordenaz got TP'd! When I finally came back, one of my best friends, Picklebro123, wanted to play. Those who don't know Picklebro, he's been helping me on YouTube videos since 2020. That was back before I was even BM Smiley on YouTube. He was having so much trouble joining. I have no idea what was happening, but he would get disconnected every 5 minutes. After our 7th try, he just decided to give up. But I did find an invisible spider. I trapped him, and then I got off again. When I got back, there was tension brewing in the team. Blueberries and Phil were having beef in VC when I was gone. And when I came back, it definitely showed. I was asked to kick Phil, but I decided not to. I've always been the kind of person that would rather make things right with someone rather than kick them out of my life. So I always try to apply that to the teams that I run. I spoke to Phil about it, and he seemed very chill. Phil agreed that he would never mess with her again, and we were all good. And Gerwalk came back. However, I haven't been completely honest with you guys. Unbeknownst to me, many Clitter Sparkles members were using cheats teammates at this point. Some of these individuals had a habit of sharing their screen while they were in VC. Myself, being on PlayStation, has no way of seeing anyone else's share screen. I just think it's important for me to preface this before the next section. There were only a few people in the VC at the time, but these people included myself, Gerwalk, Blueberries, Phil, and Orange Reaper. Everybody except Phil is from Stonebox. If you couldn't tell already, Stoneboxers are a very tight-knit group. There would be no reason for any Stonebox player to sabotage their own group with no reason. However, things became troubling when Gerwalk was suddenly banned on his first day back. One of the major admins appeared to have flagged Gerwalk for shady behavior. So, in order to conduct further investigations, he spawned what he called a honeypot zombie behind Gerwalk. Unfortunately for Gerwalk, he immediately turned around and killed it. This proved to the admin that he was using something called Entity Kill Aura. For those who are unaware, Kill Aura is a cheat that, when installed, allows any player to kill all entities around them. This is a huge deal on a server like SVanilla, which is highly PvP based. Blueberries is pissed, so she's fighting the admin in chat. She tells the admin that she was watching his screen and has no kill aura on. This would prove in time to be a lie. However, things got worse when Blueberries was now threatened. He was now accusing her of having entity radar. How the fuck would he know that? Entity radar is not something that's detectable. It's not like kill aura. And then a bombshell dropped. He told us that he saw a screenshot of her screen, meaning we had a spy. It wasn't me because I didn't know they were cheating. It wasn't Blueberries because why would they self-report? It wasn't Gerwalk because why would he self-report? And it wasn't Orange Reaper because Orange Reaper and Blueberries have been building side by side for like the last week. So that only leaves Phil. Orange Reaper immediately accused Phil of sabotaging the team. Soon after, everybody started accusing him. I decided to hold a council meeting where a lot of people decided to join and witness this. I tried to diffuse the situation a little bit because there were almost 15 people all angry and rioting about the banning of Blueberries and Gerwalk. Absolutely everybody thought that Necrophil did. Luke Sond, however, told me something that scared me a little bit. He told me that if someone else gets banned, I could probably end up getting banned as well, along with the close to 50 people that were on my team. This was a long council meeting. We had no idea what the hell to do. But before we could share the verdict with Phil, he left a message and left the Discord. From my understanding, there was also a couple people that were harassing him in DM. To this day, he still says that he was not the one to leak the screenshot. But he did have beef with Blueberries and by extension Gerwalk, and was the only non-Stoneboxer. So he was the only choice we could latch on to. I immediately DM'd Necro apologizing personally for the actions of my teammates, both cheating and some even harassing him. Something that I learned after the fact, like much later, is that Blueberries had actually put TNT under Necro's castle as a precaution after their beef. Luckily though, Blueberries was banned, so there was no explosions in Necro's castle. After resolving the conflict, admittedly not how I wanted to, I passed out. The day opens up with me digging my bunker once again. This time, I'm in VC with a couple of my friends, Avdiz and Jabana. Neither of them played the server, but I invited them to come play anyways. Avdiz immediately said yes, while Jabana said he had to go. I spent a little bit showing Avdiz around the base and trolling each other a little bit, but after making the center of our base look like a Bed Wars bridge, Avdiz went AFK, and I had an absolutely amazing idea. I wanted to make an escape room. I knew that he had died and lost his stuff right before, so he had nothing he could use except his hands. It wasn't really much of an escape room though, as you might think. I mostly just placed layers and layers of different blocks around him, eventually making a lava barrier he has to somehow find his way around. But I made sure to leave some warped wood so we can make a pickaxe. It would be pretty much impossible without it. While I was building, U1060 came back, and he helped me with the escape room. We placed many flowers on top of his prison, and he built what I can only assume is a memorial? To me, it's a Margoon 2 memorial. I miss Margoon 2. Avdiz was pissed that someone else was helping me trap him, so after he escaped, they started fighting in game for the next couple hours. I flew around just kind of watching the fights and trying to smack them with shit, but then I got an idea. What if I make a spear? If the spear's damage scales with speed, and I use an elytra which goes pretty fast, how easily can I kill people? I made my spear and went on the hunt. Avdiz saw me with it and hid underground immediately. U10 was nowhere to be found. But after a little while, they started fighting again in a little house. And these dumbasses left the door wide open. After I murdered U10, I turned around, rocketed again, and killed Avdiz as well. The reason why Elytra Spear works so well on the server is because Elytra's disable in combat. This might sound counterintuitive, but if you one-tap someone, your Elytra doesn't break and you get a free kill. This PvP method could definitely definitely help us take over the server. So I wanted to practice a lot. After flying around looking for my teammates, I saw what Board Nas has been building. I DM'd him about it and he sent me a picture of what he built in creative. It was so dope. I'm so glad that he had a passion for Minecraft again. I killed Avdiz and U10 a couple more times, but then Jabana came back. He said he would invite his friend Stand on Business to join too. We already had 3 new members today. There was also this hilarious moment where I flew over the village and came down on U10, so I asked him to clip it. He tried, but this is what he got. Avdiz started beefing with both new members as well, burning their treehouse down several times. I took advantage of this scenario and farmed so many kills. Ultra also hopped on and explored an ancient city with me where they thought it would be really funny to summon the warden when I'm right there. I panicked and flew away. Additionally, while I was gone, Stand on Business and Jabana forced Avdiz to do slave work for them, building another treehouse. This would later also be burned down by Avdiz himself while everyone else was offline. But some weird stuff started happening when Ultra got off. You're gonna have to believe me, but it looks like Herobrine was here. That sounds absolutely ridiculous, but you're gonna have to hear me out. Herobrine was here. I was flying around like usual, looking for someone to murder, when someone told me that a house was burning down. I assumed it was the treehouse again, but when I landed at Blueberry's dwelling, I realized someone built a Herobrine shrine right in the middle. And like that wasn't creepy enough, the flame from the netherrack most likely engulfed the roof, causing it to all light on fire. And that wasn't all. Music discs started mysteriously being played somewhere underground, and we kept seeing invisibility particle effects all around the base. A beacon got placed, and lava chickens started playing. Whoever was invisible splashed me with invisibility too. They put Avdiz's head on a spike for some reason. After trying and failing a couple times to find the invisible person that was standing around and doing this creepy shit, I found them flying away, so I tried to chase them down. After being in a dogfight for around a minute and a half, I lost them. Whoever it was did some crazy ass maneuver, and I lost them to the wind. I landed back on the ground, and I was at a loss for words of everything that was happening around me when I suddenly started getting attacked. This was obviously an accident because it wasn't one of my teammates. When you're in combat, you can see exactly who you're attacking or who is attacking you, regardless of whether or not they have invisibility on. So this means I can see exactly who is attacking me and who is tormenting our base. It was a player named Origami Dragon? For some reason, I recognized the name and I just couldn't put my finger on it. Regardless, I begged for mercy and we seemed cool. She said she wouldn't snitch our base out, so I let it be and brushed it off as some funny incident. I do wonder who TP'd her here though. When it all blew over, OK Ultra finally came back and I filled them in with all the lore. I was suspicious that Ultra had teleported Origami Dragon there because they had previously said they were able to get End City loot because Origami helped them get TP'd into the end. However, I didn't bring it up to them since I am not a very confrontational person. Instead, I started building Avdiz a dirt castle since he'd been building homes for everyone else, even though he was kind of forced to. I built most of the castle, but I still felt like something was off. I knew that it wasn't possible for us to just have a normal day. I called Luxond asking for advice, what he thought about the situation, and what we should do next. He told me that we should probably start packing up to go move somewhere else, but also that we should have a centralized team base and separate personal bases for every member. I was really curious as to why he kept helping us, and I felt really bad because he was the one funding all of these bases, helping us build them all, finding our locations, and he was just being a great teammate. He told me something that stuck with me. He said that I reminded him of an old friend who used to lead a team. And based on Luxon's history, it seems like he was wanting to also lead a team. And that's why he was such a big help to us the whole time. But after a long time of talking, I told him goodnight and I went to bed. The day opens up with even more bullshit. I had many DMs asking me about 2 players, Jabana and Stand on Business. You guys know about them because they joined yesterday. However, they went under my nose when I was offline and used X-ray. Not only this, but Jabana himself DM'd me with this message. Yeah, that wasn't weird at all. When I tell you I was cowering in fear, I was cowering. I was very split whether or not I wanted to leave right now or I wanted to keep working on the base and just pack up. Luxon was online, helping me get sugarcane for fireworks. It's also worth noting that this was the first time I decided to go live since the buy rate. I was also kind of lagging, so if the stream just kind of cuts in and out, that's why. I used some of the fireworks to fly over to Avdiz's dirt castle. However, almost immediately I realized that I needed a lot more dirt. I had already low-key over-terraformed the area around the castle trying to get dirt, so I flew around looking for a spot that no one cares about. I found a dirt penis on the ground near the center of the base, and I thought that it was Luxon trolling me, so I broke it. This area had apparently been covered up by one flat row of grass. For a moment, I thought it was one of the areas Blueberries terraformed before she got banned. However, there were stairs there. What? Stairs. Against my better judgment, I went all the way down. I don't know who the fuck built this shit. Oh my god, it's a shrine. There's something in the center of it though. It's the soul contract that I signed to Origami Dragon like a week ago. Holy shit, it's all coming together. I looked inside and yeah, it's the actual one. This was the moment when I remembered who Origami Dragon actually was. I closed the book and put it down. However, as I'm walking back, I see a dude in full netherite armor with a red trim. Somehow it hadn't clicked in my head before that this was the group that Jabana was talking about. And there were so many people here. There was one person on the shrine that I didn't see, and there was like 5 standing near the entrance. And they were like posted up like the damn Power Rangers. What the fuck is happening to me right now? Obviously, I'm horrified about the Power Rangers, so I turned around and oh my god, OK Ultra's a spy. Thankfully though, Ultra left. I don't know what the fuck I was supposed to do in this scenario, so I walk up to the dudes because that's really all I have left. And then they just kind of stand there. There was Kill Team, Ripsy, Wolves, Doge, and DJ Shadow Wolf Girl. Wolves was perfectly ready to just cart me at that moment. I turn around and Origami Dragon is here. And then it clicked in my head. OK Ultra was Origami Dragon. We've been insided from the start. And our takeover plan had failed from the beginning. I only had one more trick up my sleeve. I threw a bunch of XP bottles on myself and I just got ready to fight. I remembered that I had my diamond spear in my inventory. And with 180 kills underneath my belt from the day before, I thought I was ready. And I know that Kill Team was seeing all the death messages. So I climbed up the glowberries to get height, and the second they saw me pull out my spear, they all ran. Kill Team stayed. I tried hitting him, but I hit him with the wrong fucking thing. That could have actually cost me the fight. But at least Kill Team was in combat. That means he can't use his elytra or any commands. But that also means I can't use my elytra either. I ran out of the ground the same time Luke saw all of the name tags. But it was too late. They had summoned multiple withers. Not only this, but everybody had made it away. Now it was up to Luke's and I to fix our base and kill all the withers. I flew around trying to spear the withers, but it's very, very difficult. I tried leading them very high into the sky where I assumed they wouldn't be able to reach me. But they just kept firing skulls down upon our base. I saw Origami Dragon log onto the OK Ultra account trying to escape the bunker, so I went down there and tried to kill her. After a decent fight, I caught her trying to take her stuff back near a lava pool, so I pushed her back in and she died. After a bit more of fighting the withers, I eventually got cornered in a cave where all of them followed me down. It got so bad I needed Luxon to come down there personally and help me. And even then, we couldn't take them down alone. So we called in one person each to help us take down all the withers. But not before I died to a wither and everything disappeared. I had officially lost my elytra, my spear, and my entire netherite set that I got from Flowmish. With barely anybody online, I summoned in the one person I didn't think I'd have to. Necro Phil. To my surprise, he actually accepted the teleport. I gave him a nether star for his bravery. Luke's proceeded to invite somebody that is completely unknown to this day. They had an invisibility pot on, and I could not possibly guess who it could be. We spent the next 10 minutes killing all the withers we could. Afterwards, Necro went back to his castle, and the mystery man disappeared into the darkness. The base annihilated. Our gear gone. Our spirits low. I thought of happier times and sat down with Luke's on the side of the hill. So this base is screwed. Did the best we could though, huh?
Of course we did.
I mean, I really thought we could do it this time. Like, I really thought we had potential.
We did a lot in a week.
You lost like 2 shulker boxes of gear in that week.
Oh yeah, I definitely did that, but that's okay.
I wish it didn't come down to this. I mean, what did we even do to that guy for him to build an entire shrine underneath our base? That just feels kind of excessive.
Guilty has always been like that. He will write about just anybody.
Also, what's with that soul contract thing? Like, this isn't Dream SMP.
That was kind of random.
I'm sorry. I can't keep making bases that last a few days.
It's exhausting for sure.
Hey, Luke's.
Yeah?
Thanks for all the help.
Of course, man. No problem.
Good night, man. I'll see you.
Say yes, Smiley.